So here's the reason why you have to watch before you change the windshield on your BMW. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Mark with exoticcarplayplace. Did you know that there's a lot of options? You know, we drive in these nasty roads in Alberta, where I'm from here actually, and anywhere really northern US or Canada, as well as a lot of places in Europe, particularly Eastern and Northern Europe have a lot of roads like this too, where the cities and the local jurisdictions decide to throw a lot of gravel on the roads. And when you have gravel on the roads, you have other cars driving along and they spit gravel, and gravel hits the glass, breaks the windshields. You wind up with little cracks and splits all over, and eventually sometimes the window breaks altogether. Well, that's really unfortunate because these windshields can be very, very expensive. As a matter of fact, I know a gentleman who just picked up a new BMW, and unfortunately, it's time for a windshield change. But he went to the dealer. Well, he went to the local BMW dealer. They quoted him a brand new windshield like this for his actually it was an X3, but similar thing, we're in an X5 here. He was quoted actually about $900 Canadian for the windshield. Then he was actually quoted for another $300 for trim pieces and another $300 for labor. All in to change this windshield with a nice little BMW logo down on the windshield here. He was quoted almost about $1,500 all in by the dealer to change out the windshield. Well, some of you guys carry glass coverage with your insurance, and then it doesn't matter. But even with glass coverage and you have deductibles, with a deductible, that means you still have to pay a certain amount, $250, maybe $500 out of your pocket first, and then the insurance company picks up the remainder. Well, as soon as you make a claim as well, that goes against your account, and many times, years after that, the insurance companies start gouging you for higher rates because you've made a claim. We'll try to avoid that altogether. So my whole concept is try to find the best deal. I'll tell you right now, here's a great way that you can save money with your BMW if you should find yourself with a broken windshield. Why? Because of broken glass, maybe vandalism, rocks, whatever it be. There are reasons anybody might have to change a windshield in their car. Well, here's the deal. So he was quoted $1,500 by the local dealer. Well, it's BMW glass. It must be a special glass because it's BMW brand. He has nothing special about his car other than it has the rain sensors built in. So in other words, he's got the little controller on his stock down on the console that he activates that. He's driving along and there's rain hitting the windshield. That is, in essence, starts to move the blades, the wiper blades, which then allows it to keep the windows clear, of course, during rain. And it regulates depending on the amount of rain that hits. Well, so it's nice to have that rain sensing feature, but that doesn't cost a whole lot of money. You believe it or not, you can actually go to these third-party glass companies. And so here's where I'm going to save you guys some money. If you go to a third-party glass company, now I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, and I'll tell you there's a place, I probably shouldn't advertise for them because I don't work for them. I will say there's a third-party glass company here in Edmonton, one of my favorites. I've changed windshields with them numerous times for various vehicles. And the last time I did the windshield on this X5, it really only ended up costing me about $225. That's with the rain sensors. That's with a new windshield. That's with all the new trim around. That included everything, all in, and labor, $225 on my X5. So I directed my friend that has this new X3 to do the same. And so instead of paying $1,500, you go to these third-party glass companies, and often they'll put a third-party aftermarket windshield in for you. It doesn't say BMW down in the corner, but it does have many of the specifications and ratings that you might find with the BMW glass. You just do it far cheaper. Not to mention, why are you paying those guys in the fancy white trench coats to install your windows? Are they actually changing it, or are they sending that car out? You bring your car to the dealer. Are they actually doing it themselves, or do they middleman it and send it off somewhere else to put in that windshield? I don't know. I don't see what goes on behind the scenes, but I will tell you that there's absolutely no reason to pay $1,500 for a windshield by BMW. Instead, you go to one of these aftermarket outfits, $200 out the door, all in. And that way you don't even have to bother insurance, because again, a lot of these insurance companies are going to charge you a $500 deductible or more sometimes, which means that you might as well just buy it yourself anyway. So for a couple $100, you put a new glass in here, you get new trim, and you're off to the races. Now there's some other things to consider, and I'll tell you this much. So you can get cheap rain sensing glass because it's pretty straightforward. All they do is put a couple of sensors, you know, they tie some sensors into the system and it detects and it will activate your whole operation of rain sensing. What there are limitations on, however, if you happen to have a car with heads-up display, like I know my E60 M5 has heads-up display, this is where the limitations lie. So what are your options if you have that? Well, your options really boil down to a couple of simple ones. One, you either claim it on insurance because maybe you had a bad rock and it broke the window and you might have to go through insurance. Another option is you just pay the piper, and likely because it's got the capability, it's got the actual material within the glass or as a coating that gives it the reflective properties that allow the heads-up display to operate properly. So you either pay the full amount, which is probably going to be in the neighborhood of $2,000 or $2,500 Canadian for the heads-up display and rain sensing windshield, or the other third option is you put a standard windshield in with rain sensing sensors on it, and you just live with the limited visibility on the heads-up display, and you can still, again, do that for a couple of $100. If you can do without that heads-up display or just a kind of a washed-out, dimmer version of it, that's a huge savings. Otherwise, like I said, the heads-up display really is a limiting factor. Most of these third-party outfits that at least I've experienced do not have glass that can accommodate heads-up display. Thanks for joining the video, guys. I really appreciate you sticking around to listen to the end of it. I hope this saved you guys some bucks. At the end of the day, I'm here to share with you some of the experiences that are going to save you money and help us all enjoy motoring with a BMW at a minimal cost and maximum savings. Thanks again, everybody. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification so you know that the next great video is out. Catch you later. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.